I mean, you always made two options, take it or leave it. And after supper was over, Dad would say, the kitchen is closed.
Yes, because we had kids to bathe and books to read.
Oh, no, hey, I'm with you. If I used to raise the three of us, I would have closed the entire house and closed up shop and sent us down the river. It was kind that you made anything for us. Hello honeys, it's Emmy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy and this is Healthy Mummy. She is back for today's video. For those of you that are new and don't know what goes on here, my name is Emmy and I'm your nutritionist for plant-based nutrition and plant-based weight loss. I'm the creator of the Slim on Starch program where my clients lose anywhere from the last few pounds to up to 70 pounds and counting. So click below if you want to look more into that and make sure that you hit subscribe so that you can be a healthy honey and see a new video that comes up every Wednesday and Saturday. So today we are reacting to the diet that I ate at age 5. So I'm going to be asking Mom what I used to eat, what type of an eater I was, and what we would do differently now, knowing what we know now. Because we did the best that we could then, but now that we know better, we do better. And if we knew better then, we would have done better then. Right. Just a disclaimer, this is not like I don't want people calling child services because I only ate ketchup sandwiches. She did the best she could and I was the last of 3. So by the time I came around. Also, I want you guys to leave a comment of what you used to eat when you were 5. Yeah. Let's go for it. So let's start out with, what type of an eater was I? How would you describe my relationship with food?
I would say in comparison to your brothers, you were a very limited eater. There were only certain things that you liked, and there were periods of time where that's all you would eat.
What did I not like? What would I refuse to eat?
Well, I would say you didn't like things like milk, eggs, meat, fish, burgers.
So, I mean, you say I was limited. I say I was ahead of my time.
Perhaps, yeah.
I was born vegan.
In hindsight, yes, yeah.
All right, well, good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that I didn't eat that stuff.
Just fed you what your brothers ate. Didn't work so well.
Well, look how they turned out. Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't eat any animal products.
Right.
Let's see what I did eat.
Okay.
Let's start out with breakfast.
All right. So it was the day of the cereal. You know, cereal for breakfast or eggs and bacon, or what you ate mostly was.
I ate eggs.
No, it was a time of when you eat a lot of that. So you were basically a butter toast gal. That's what you would have, butter toast.
Toast with butter. Okay.
Yeah. So
the bread is great. You know, when it comes to kids that don't like to eat a lot, kids really, they just need calories to grow. True. And bread is a great source of that, and it's a starch too. And you know, the Egyptians, the breadbasket of the world, they thrived on a diet of wheat. So if your kid likes bread, then capitalize on that and have them eat the toast.
Right.
The butter, that's gotta go.
Right.
What I would suggest for a kid who, if they like toast with butter, you could try something like toast with hummus, or you could do toast with apple butter on it, or a jam on it to get the vitamins in there from the fruit. So I'm okay with, I'm not okay with the butter, but the toast I can do with. Okay. And what was my drink of choice?
Well, we really couldn't get you to drink milk, and I thought that milk was something that you had to have to grow your body and grow your bones. So we invented this drink called tea juice because you're obsessed with tea. You love tea. So we would mix tea with milk and we called it tea juice.
Okay.
A lot of that.
So once again, ahead of my time. Now let's talk about the whole kids and milk thing. A lot of people are under the impression that kids should be drinking milk for the sake of their bones. I thought this, but I mean, that's what we were told. And I even remember once making a New Year's resolution to drink more milk.
Really?
Because I hated it.
Yeah.
But the reality, what the studies show is, I mean, first and foremost, if you look at graphs with the correlation between dairy consumption and the amount of bone fractures and osteoporosis, I mean, it's just wild. Yeah. The more a country consumes dairy products, the more bone fractures, the more osteoporosis. And then the scientific reasoning behind that, with what we think it is, we can't, there's correlation and there's causation, which are two different things. So we can't say just because there's a correlation that means that one causes the other. But let's look at the correlation and kind of say, whoa, that's some scary data. The reason why we think this is happening is when we consume milk, it's an animal protein and it's acidic. And in order for us to balance out our pH, our bones have to release something alkaline to get our acidity levels where they should be. And our bones release calcium in response to that. So by drinking milk, we're actually doing ourselves a disservice. And there are other studies that show, again, correlation, I'm not saying there's causation here, but other studies show that when kids with autism are put on a dairy-free diet, autistic behavior improves dramatically.
I didn't know that.
So we can, I can't say dairy causes autism. Obviously,
Right.
I'm not saying that, but that's another one of those things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And then, the last thing is Dr. Spock, one of the last things he said is that after the age of 2, kids, he was a vegetarian first and foremost, but he also said after the age of 2, kids should not be consuming dairy. I don't think they should consume it at all, and I think that before age 2, the only milk you should have is your mother's breast milk. But for those of you that do have kids and want to make sure they're getting calcium, just sub out with a plant milk. I mean, it tastes exactly the same.
Sometimes even better.
Yeah, I would say better too, and it doesn't make you feel groggy and gross, because all humans are lactose intolerant. We weren't meant to drink cow's milk, but we did.
Yeah.
So, all right, good. We're off to a strong start. Butter toast and tea juice.
She's still alive.
Vision of health. All right, so let's continue on.
Okay.
So let's go to lunchtime.
Lunch.
What am I having?
All right, so if it's the summertime and everybody's home and we're getting ready to go to the beach, I try and make something quick. The boys love hot dogs. We'd cut up some hot dogs or hot dogs on rolls when they got older. And Em would not eat the hot dog. She'd take the hot dog out and she'd eat the roll with ketchup. And that led into, I'm embarrassed to say, ketchup sandwiches, which we ate for a long time. Ketchup sandwich.
Once again, the picture of health.
So a vegetable in the Boston school system. Ketchup.
Well, my question for you is, what is a hot dog? If you can tell me what's in there,
Don't.
I still won't consider eating it, but I'll feel a little bit better about the fact that Max and Ty ate it. I mean, the fact that they're living is still so good. I ate bread with ketchup.
More bread.
I knew that I needed my carbs. I needed the glucose.
Probably.
Every single one of the hundreds of trillions of cells in our body runs on glucose. It is our preferred fuel, and it's what's needed for growth. A lot of people say, kids need their meat, they need their protein. The fact of the matter is that the amount of protein that we need is very minimal. Breast milk, human breast milk, is about 5 or 6% protein. That's it. It's fat and carbs other than that. And all the excess protein, our kidneys just go on overdrive and we pee it out anyway. So even if you're loading up on protein, you're really just taxing the liver and the kidneys and not soaking up everything that you think you are. Because if we could, we'd all walk around with huge muscles. And I'm the only one doing that. So
Right.
I get the joke.
I was drifting. Sorry, I was drifting. They're from...
Have you been eating hot dogs?
Yeah, a couple of small for breakfast.
In any event. All right, well, good.
All right.
I'm doing terribly.
Yes, bad.
What I would say at this point is, honestly, we would swap out the bread for some high quality bread. Be careful when you're shopping for bread, because a lot of them can be packaged up to look fabulous, but then you sneak into the ingredients and you see things like whey in there, which comes from cows, or you'll see eggs in there sometimes, just lots of preservatives. So you can even make your own bread. It's very easy, very inexpensive, or, fresh bakery bread, even from a supermarket. Like Stop and Shop has fire bread, and the only ingredients are, as they should be, wheat, flour, yeast, and salt.
Right.
Which
a
is
lot of choices now today that we didn't have.
Yeah, for sure. Or something like an Ezekiel bread, which is
yeah,
sprouted.
really good.
So what I would do is try to, I think I may have gone for some hummus. I could do hummus
I
with
bet
bread.
you would like that, yeah.
Yeah. I still have not seen much nutrition that I've been able to get in. I'm getting in calories, but not many vitamins and minerals, and we'll talk about how we can sneak that in.
Right.
Afternoon snack. What would I do?
Yeah. For snack, we were finally getting somewhere.
I'm feeling good.
I would think that
Am I moving on to mustard sandwiches?
I thought what I needed to do is dress up some healthy things or cover them in something that she liked so she'd eat it. So then we ended up with sliced apples, but they had to have cinnamon and sugar on them.
Okay. Honestly, I'm okay with this. I would say to give that to your kid if they are as limited ahead of my time as I was. And this is something that Dr. McDougall says is, if the only way you're going to eat the food is by putting a sprinkle of sugar or salt on it, then do it. Because I would rather have you do that than not eat the food at all. The only thing that I would say not to use a sprinkling of is any animal products or any oil. But if you're just using a sprinkle of sugar and that gets me to eat an apple, like I'll take it. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, although you should have with Max and Ty. Right. But me, I'll take a little bit of sugar on my apples. Now, I have not seen a green anywhere in sight.
No, and Max is a big green eater.
Well, Max is just a creature of his own.
Right.
But here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think I would have been interested in something like a smoothie? Because I have memories of you making smoothies.
Yeah. You gotta remember, this is 20 years ago, so my memories are kind of shady. But I think maybe, yeah, you might have.
Okay, so if that is the case, if your kid likes smoothies, load up on those smoothies, and that's where you can sneak in greens.
Yeah.
Because you can throw a handful of spinach in there, and that's wonderful for sneaking in those vitamins, those minerals, those nutrients, and there's protein in the greens too.
Right, right.
So that's something we could have done.
Yeah.
I mean, you were trying your best with 3 of us.
Right.
Okay, so I got some nutrition.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to supper.
Supper. All right, again, I mean, it was a day where I was cooking for the 5 of us. I would make dinner, all the same thing for all of us, sit down and have dinner. That's the way I was raised. It was interesting because if I had a meat, a potato, and a veg, and that's how I was raised, or a fish and a chicken and a rice, she would pretty much just eat the veg and maybe the starch, the potato. Yeah, but the meat, it just wouldn't happen.
I mean, I'm impressed with myself.
If I could have fast forwarded and realized this is what it was going to, I would have been okay with it. But at the time, you think you have to eat that.
Right. And I remember in my you always made 2 options, take it or leave it. And after supper was over, Dad would say, the kitchen is closed.
Yes, because we had kids to bathe and books to read.
Oh, no, hey, I'm with you. If I had to raise the 3 of us, I would have closed the entire house and closed up shop and sent us down the river. It was kind that you made anything for us. Another thing I remember is on very, very special nights, we would get pizza. But what would I do with my pizza?
Take all the cheese off.
Scrape off all the cheese.
Always.
Cheese is gross.
Yeah.
Disgusting. All I wanted was the bread.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted was carbs.
Yeah. And this was only when you were young. Then we evolved into.
Do you think that we should do that? Should we do this? I'm asking the audience, and maybe you can weigh in too. Like, this is my diet when I was 5. Should we do it when I was like 10? When I was 15?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
was quite a journey.
You'd have to dig through the memories.
I remember, because it wasn't so far away.
What would you do differently now, knowing what you know now?
What I know now, well, of course, hindsight is always perfect vision, but I would have been a lot more lenient. I would have worried less, and I would have. See, you were unable to verbalize that you're just a kid.
I was a mute at age 5. I'm 5 at this point.
Yeah, but we didn't know what hummus was and avocado, and there weren't a lot of choices in the store. It was a different time. But I would have just let you be. And I think I pretty much did.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah.
You third kid
Because you
syndrome.
weren't alone. I mean, I had friends who had kids like that who only ate one or 2 things for years.
All right, well. And also, people were asking for a Healthy Mummy health update. So if you want that too, people really were DMing me.
Really?
And they were saying, I asked for video requests, and people said, can we get an update on how Healthy Mummy is doing?
Oh.
Because it's been, when we did your first video, that was
long time ago.
That was 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So it's been 3 years.
Yeah, great.
Good. Yeah.
Still here, alive and kicking.
All right, if you would like a part 2, then go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll see you in that part. Bye.
Woo!